de tudo isto que pode ser discutido realmente de cada cidade e cada município que assina, terá que ser criativo e perceber um pouco o seu local e como é que se pode aplicar todos os direitos que existem na Carta, mas grande parte passará certamente pelo que o Dimitri trouxe aqui, por realmente promover muito e aceitar muito a participação dos cidadãos e das cidadãs na própria execução das políticas locais, municipais ou já não diria nacionais. Era mais ou menos isto. Obrigado.
Qui souhaite intervenir pour répondre à des questions? Déjà, une question précise, le menu et les invités au dîner, Hans, au dîner pensant.
C'est bon. Yes, about this dinner. Well, you reframed it as a participation tool. Well, we have all kind of participation, like neighborhood approaches, referenda, initiatives, right to initiative, the complainant officers, etc., etc., etc. But this dinner was especially done to involve the national and local partners to start to let them think with us, well, is human rights a concept we can use on local level? What we did to start, we selected 20 professors in law, sociology to have the thinking power. We had 20 people from the juridical sector, the police officers, the judges, the national ombudsman, the minister of justice, that kind of persons. And we had 20 people from NGOs, local NGOs and also national NGOs based in Utrecht, or for example the director of Amnesty International is based in Amsterdam, but he is living in Utrecht. So this kind of influential persons we invite to come together. We had come together at 5 because they're busy people, and give them some food. We had round tables with very specific questions, how to make a strategy on a local level, because if they cannot think about it, nobody can make this kind of plans. And then at 8 o'clock it was in City Theatre, and it was by a coincidence that our locally national famous comedian Claudia de Brij was performing, and we took them all into the, well, it's a little bit bigger as here, and then they had the experience of theater on human rights. That was the evening, and we concluded at 7:45. Well, this is something very important for the city, and we are going to support you. We don't come together every month, but every year we want to be involved. This was in fact it's also forcing us to go on. We cannot escape, because all these people have in mind that we're doing this. So it's also a way of putting pressure on ourselves from outside in. And there is a bigger platform of people helping us, supporting us, are available for strategy events and so on. Perhaps a little to my colleague from Zurich about the regional effect, because in the most regions in Europe are especially dealing with transportation, mobility, urban planning issues, if there is a good working regional governance structure. And that's a little bit the problem, to put social and human rights issues on this regional level. But I think that it could be, when there is a regional structure, it could be a very much interest in also in the new European Commission program 2020, when we start talking about smart cities, competitive regions, that cities are bigger than the core city. It's very important that also the quality of cooperation, the quality of governance structure, and the quality of life is an issue that has to become more important, also because the awareness of what a city is more and more the regional context, because enterprise businesses will not come, but it doesn't matter for them if they are on one side of the border or the other side of the border. They're coming to the agglomeration of Zurich because the there are the well-educated people, there is the infrastructure, there is the transportation, there is the assurance that people are protected by all the quality elements have been written down in human rights treaties. That could be of interest to start brand your region as a whole as a human rights smart region. So there is, I think we start now thinking in more and more regions to put it on the agenda, but it will be difficult because the core city has to be taken the initiative for this, because it's there has the thinking power, has mostly the universities are there. There is the thinking. There are the main institute based. You can do more from the central city into the region than the other way around. But sometimes it also became the other way around. I don't know. But
merci Hans. Dimitri?
I want to say 5 short things in response to what was stated and asked by all of you. First, the important issue of climate change. Some of you may have seen the very important documentary that former Vice President of the United States, Al Gore, made, which was called Unconventional Truth. And as he took us through that educational documentary, which had a mass audience all over the place, he concluded that in his view, and I remind you that he was the former Vice President of the United States, he reminded us, he underlined the fact that the most likely source of solutions to combat climate change are cities. It's a very significant conclusion. And in fact, in North America, to the extent that any progress has been made in combating climate change has come from cities, both in the United States and Canada. The national governments are just standing in front of a wall and completely cornered and unable to move for a variety of reasons. But that, we have to bear that in mind. So in answer to your concern, I would say, how do we mobilize, and it can be done, how can we mobilize more and more of civil society in putting pressures on our municipal governments to roll up their sleeves and do much more. In Montreal, for instance, we have an urban sustainable plan, which is an effective partnership between the city government and civil society, consisting of corporations, women's organizations, environmental organizations, so on and so forth. And it is a step-by-step approach to combat climate change and environmental injustice. The question that was asked about what to do from our Mexican friend, what to do about the urbanization of cities, the urbanization phenomena and cities, as Maria so